Hello everyone and welcome to Upside Down. In today's episode we are continuing our Hellblade inspired environment. In this episode I will show you how with all the elements that we created so far we can build some modules, and after that from those modules we can start making our different variations for our buildings. Of course, I want to remind you that we are going to do a second pass on the elements for the building, and after that we will be able to finish the roof parts as well. So let's jump inside 3ds Max. First thing that I want you to notice that I already changed to 2021. If you missed my videos about 3ds Max 2021 and some of the features which I think that are very awesome and help a lot, I'll leave a link down in the description below. I really didn't want to waste your time showing you how I'm moving boxes around, so I'll just quickly go through some of the modules. I already built up a couple of them, and I think that it's something that all of you can experiment and build their variations as well. First, I'll just quickly go around the modules so that you can see how they look like at the moment. This is for our entrance. I have another variation for an entrance, and as well I made one which is for a bigger entrance. I made a small wall, and then for the bigger walls I made few different variations with one window, with both windows, and this one I left it like this so that we can put some other versions of these broken planks. As well I made one module which is for floor. Of course we can make a second one which will be just the planks without the beam over here, because I tested a little bit here some combinations and how it looks. So if you can see that if we have wall modules on all the sides, we don't really need to have this beam over here. What we created is essentially a very optimized modules, because we are using just one texture set. You can see that with just one texture set and couple of different variations of our planks and wooden beams, we can create very easily many different setups, which later we can export to Unreal and start building our environment. The things that I would like also to show you is how I did the setup for the materials so that I can see everything inside 3ds Max, and also because I wanted to experiment a little bit more with my roughness, and I really didn't want to go that much back and forth between 3ds Max and Substance, so I decided to add few extra nodes to our material and be able to manipulate my roughness right inside this software. Let me open the material editor. I'll just extend it a little bit like this so that you can see it better. And this one here is the material for my planks. It's the standard PBR material, inside material, general, and then PBR metal roughness is the one that I'm using. And the one on the bottom is the one which I have for my environment. At the moment I just put a solid color for my background so that it doesn't distract me, but for the rest I have just the default settings. I just loaded one of the environments which come directly with 3ds Max. Now let's go back to the material for the planks. So on that material you can see that on the very first node I have my diffuse texture. Then I have my occlusion, roughness and metallic. And at the very end I have my normal map. Here in the middle you can see that I've added a couple of different nodes which are standard nodes that you can find inside 3ds Max. And these setups help me first to break the texture that I have packed for Unreal 4 so that I can use the red, green and blue channel separately, and after that a small setup that helps me to control the roughness. Let me show you how I did it. When I already had my texture imported, I used components. Components is this node here, which allows me to get the input from the texture and after that separate it on different channels. Immediately, because I didn't want to control my occlusion, I just connected it to the final result of the material. I did the same as well for the metallic, but to control my roughness I added two extra nodes. One is an additive node, it's this one over here, which allows me to add up a color on top of it. And since the way that roughness works is the more bright the color is, for example if we have a completely white color, it will be completely non-reflective. And if we go completely dark color, like completely black, then it will be 100% reflective. What I did is I added one more node, because you can see that here I connected our roughness channel into node A, so this way we are taking the values from this channel. And after that I added another node which is color value, again from the standard nodes inside 3ds Max, which gives me the opportunity to select a specific color and tweak the result. As we don't want really to have any color, we just want to have black and white values, I remove completely the saturation over here, and now you can see if I play with the values over here, you can see in the viewport how my material changes from becoming very reflective to completely non-reflective. And at the end, the output of this node I'm connecting directly to the roughness, so that we can already have our result into the end material. Today I also wanted to show you one very quick trick. A couple of episodes back, when I was doing the high polish inside ZBrush, I removed the 6 meter beam and left only the 3 meter one. And I did it for a purpose, because I now want to show you a very quick trick how you can make a 6 meter beam without spending any of the time for modeling it, and also without spending the resources for finding a texture space for it and texturing it and everything else that comes with it. So I'm just going to quickly clone it here on the side. We can do this by holding Shift and move it with the Move tool. After that, we are going to go to Modify, click 4 on the keyboard, and I will just select the top polygons. I will hold Ctrl and click on Vertices, so that we now go on Vertex Selection. And after that, from the modifier menu, I will just quickly find Symmetry. The reason why I did the selection before selecting symmetry, this way our symmetry is directly being aligned with our vertices, which are aligned with each other on the very top of the beam. And now what we are going to do, we are just going to change the axis on which this beam is being mirrored. So I'll go on Z. You can see that it disappeared, and this is because we need to click flip. And now we have our 6 meter beam. I can right click and convert it to editable poly, and let's see what we have. So you can see that there is, of course, a small seam over here, and the other part is that our texture is repeating. I'll show you now how we can fix the texture. And for this element here, I'm not that much bothered, because as I mentioned, I left some space in our texture, and this space I will use for creating some metal elements and ornaments that we are going to put on our columns. But first, let me show you how we are going to make it so that it doesn't repeat like this, and our players won't be able to notice our trick that we just did. What I'll do, I'll again select it, I'll go on polygon, I'll select everything from the top, and you can see that we still have one more row, so I'll just click grow, so that we have everything here selected. After that, I'll come and click detach, we'll give it an OK. Now we can select this beam, and what I will do, I will just rotate it 90 degrees like this. And now we can see that we already fixed this issue. We can of course come and attach it so that it's one element. And after that we can of course put our metal ornament here so that we can hide this seam. You can do very quick modifications to your models and create different variations of it just by using symmetry in a smart way. So I really recommend you playing a little bit with it and trying some different stuff. Now that I showed you how you can overview and build your models inside 3ds Max, it's time, if you are also creating your own modules, to start experimenting a little bit and see if everything tiles well, if there are some things that you want to fix, if you are happy with the result and you want to add some more variations, and generally to have your first pass on your model. Also, by doing so, you will notice what kind of other modules you're going to need for building the whole design that you have in mind. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that this video was useful, and see you next time when we are going to start making some of these stone elements for our building.